Good afternoon, everyone. This is Woody Collins, and I'm with Congo Helping Hands, and this is another episode of Talking About Congo. And our topic today is the third in its series on limited water sources. If you like these presentation that we're providing, please like, subscribe, and share it with your friends. So let's go ahead and get started with today's topic. So we've been talking ever since the World Water Day, which was on the 22nd of March, which was Monday. We've been talking about the JMP, the Joint Management Program's Drinking Water Ladder. And that's a series of steps and the way to classify water that people are drinking around the world. It starts off with surface water, which is the worst. Nobody should not be drinking untreated, untreated water from the surface. That means, say, a lake, a creek, a river, or something like that. That water is probably a 100% chance that it is contaminated with harmful bacteria that can make you sick or kill you. So, and we all know what happens. That can occur because number one is animal feces or human feces. A lot it gets into the river either by natural actions, meaning say it rains and all of a sudden water flows to those rivers, drains into those rivers, and so you can have contamination in there. This, and I even kind of on Monday showed that we have the right White River here in Indianapolis, and our storm sewers occasionally overflow and flow into the White River. So that will be a major source of contamination, and Indianapolis is being fined for that kind of stuff. But we take water out of the White River and we uh, treat it, take it through a treatment plant where it's safe to, when it comes out, it's safe to drink. And also, we treat our sewage before it is discharged back into the White River. That's what a lot of cities who have access to river that does. I've been in the Atlanta water plant that it gets water out of the Chattahoochee River and puts treated sewage back into the Chattahoochee River. So we talked about unimproved water sources. Unimproved water source meaning to say that it is something that a natural source, maybe a spring or a well, but the primary it is saying when it says unimproved, meaning say that it is possibly has not been protected properly, so therefore there's a high chance of that water being contaminated and will make you sick or kill you. So let's move up to the top. The next category is not the top yet. We got a couple more sessions to go before we get to the top. The session that we're going to talk about today is limited water source. And a limited water source basically is a source from an improved water source. And we just talked about unimproved. This one is an improved, meaning to say that there's protective measures that have been instituted to protect the water from contamination. It could be a concrete barrier, a plastic barrier, something that has been done to protect the water from any source of contamination. That contamination could be natural or it could be human animal contamination. But in this limited, we are assuming that it's because it is protected it is a good water source. It is a good water source. However, when I say assume, you cannot be 100% accurate on assuming that the water is safe to drink unless you've tested it. And then if you tested it and looked at having a survey of the area, then you can be kind of assured that it's going to produce if it's safe at the time that you test it and they got good measures in place, then you probably it will remain safe and be good water to drink. But that's all assumed. But that's one of the primary things you want to do is to improve the water source. That's even if you have a well, you got a protective cap on it. You got that animals can't crawl down into the water source. A protection around the water, a borehole where water can't seep from the top of the ground into the borehole. If it's a cap spring, you got plastic or concrete down to protect it from, and also you got the area fenced off where animals cannot go into that area. But the primary reason they call this limited, even though it's a highly likely that it's safe water, it takes you 30 minutes or more to leave from the time you leave your house to the time you return with that water. Can you imagine it? 30 minutes. It's greater than 30-minute time. Meaning that you get up out of the chair, you go get water, and by the time you come back to your chair, it's over 30 minutes. And so to us in America, where we got water in the kitchen and we will grab our significant other and says, hey, you go into the kitchen, bring me a glass of water, or bring me whatever that I need to drink. And that's within 15 seconds. Sometime I get up and commercial comes on. So within 30 seconds, 1 minute, 2 minutes, I'm back and sitting down and I've brewed some tea or whatever the case may be. But just think if you had to go get water from a water source and it takes you that long to get water, we here in the United States, we could actually go to the store and buy a case of water and be back within 30 minutes versus just having to walk. And this is where you see the picture with the women and girls, because women and girls carry 80% of the water around the world. They're the ones who are charged with getting water and bringing it back to the house. And that's a tremendous burden on them when they're going out to get water. And some of that time could be they're standing in line. It may even be, say, 10-minute walk from the house. However, if they have to stand in line for 30 minutes because that's the only source that the community has, then that counts towards being able to go and get water and come back. When we were doing water testing, we measured the time. And some of those times were 40 minutes, and we were just measuring time to walk there and time to get back. We did not stand around and wait that long because we had work to do, but we identified there were some water sources that took over a half an hour to get to and back just on walking there and walking back. So that's a limited source, and that's why it's limited because it is not readily available to the people in the community. So thank you very much for stopping by today, and we will continue our march up the ladder when tomorrow we'll talk about basic water service, and we will get into that tomorrow at 3 o'clock. So please stop by again, and remember to like, subscribe, and share these presentations if you feel so desired to someone. And finally, let's get this pandemic under control by washing our hands, wearing our masks, and socially distance ourselves. And if you have the vaccine available, please take advantage of it. So take care, and we will talk to you tomorrow at 3 o'clock for another episode of Talking About Congo.